There's an old saying I just made up. When life gives you onions, grill yourself a nice Casey strip to slide right on under them. I really screwed something up here. But I'm going to bring you guys along to show you how much of a dummkopf I am. Come on. I know. I'm on your guys' case all the time about don't care what other people say, don't worry about screwing up. You work on your own car, you have a problem, you deal with it. It's only stuff and things. It's material. It's not as important as the world makes it out to be. Now I gotta put my money where my mouth is. So what is this thing doing back in my shop? Well, like I said on a previous video, the other day I went to the owner's house. We had transported the doors, the fenders, the hood, the windshield, cowl, everything painted, everything ready to install. And I spent the afternoon at his place. We got the right-hand side door on. We went to the left-hand side door, and we just had problems. So what's the problem? What's the crux of the situation, you want to know? Well, when we went to put the left-hand door on, we got it on, and then trying to sweep it closed, the bottom of the door, the thickness of the door on the bottom, trying to overlap the sill plate portion of the rocker, didn't want to overlap. So what's going on there? Well, I know it's hard for you to see it, but I put a piece of tape on both sides, took a carpenter's square and got a consistent line from the rear corner to here, then measured out 2 more lines going forward, so it was the exact same measurements on both sides. On the right side, the rear measurement is 48 1/4, 48 3/8, 48 1/2. So just kind of a nice little 1/8 inch progression there, each 8 inches. When I measured this one out, 48 1/4, 48 3/8, 48 1/2. Both sides are actually just barely shy, maybe a 30 seconds shy, 48 1/2. When I go, let me see if you're in here. On the other side, when I go from this little step in the sill plate right up against to this bolt hole, I think that was for the cowling. I'm not sure if that's for the fender or the cowling. Doesn't matter. Should be a consistent bolt hole, you would think. On the other side I have 27 1/4. This side I have 26 7/8. So I am 3/8 off at the very front portion of this this rocker panel, according to this bolt hole. And to make matters worse, or exaggerate them just a little bit, this is the left-hand door. We're just going to go from this sharp corner here on top of the window frame. I'm going to pass by a hole for the door panel. That's at 37, and I've got a strong 46 5/8 length there. Just for fun, I'm going to go where it was rubbing. 46 5/8, and this, just kind of get a plumb line here to where it was rubbing. 29 5/8 as well. So 46 and 29 5/8. And if we do those same measurements here, go across our door panel screw, 46 and a shy half, and then the front measurement looks pretty close. So kind of inconsistent. Definitely where I measured, it's about 1/8 of an inch taller, the door. But honestly, these things were never perfect. But it doesn't help my situation. So what does this mean? What happened? What's going on? How do I fix it? Well, first of all, what happened? That is a great question. I just knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. I remembered measuring, checking side to side. And I thought I had, I know I did, up front from this bolt hole down. But as I've mulled this over the last few days, I'm kind of thinking maybe I was measuring much more carefully with the inner construction, because if you remember, this was very rotten underneath, and that inner construction had already been redone, and it was redone with like galvanized tin material. Someone had been in there and just patched it up basically. And so as far as that inner construction, that inner rocker panel, I was very, very careful with that. And it's just been too long. I don't remember anymore. Maybe these were good LMC rocker panels, and maybe I just assumed that they were consistent, you know. But evidently, this one curves up much higher towards the front. My flange for my weather stripping is on, at least side to side. But obviously, not everything is as it seems, you know. So we definitely have a difference, a big difference, side to side with the two panels. And we have a little bit of difference side to side with the two doors. Not a big difference, but it makes it worse. So who's to blame? I am, 100%. What should I have done to prevent this? And I know better. I do know better. The moment I tacked these panels in there, I should have stopped, grabbed the door, bolted it up, and made sure it worked. That was 100% my fault. But I didn't do it. So now it becomes my expense, my time, and my problem. And we'll fix it. Now I've already got, instead of going back to LMC, you know, what are the chances you're getting another rocker from the same run of rockers? If any of you have had a problem with this, put it down in the comments. I'd be interested to know. I went ahead and got some from Summit, about the same price. I just wanted to see if there was much of a difference. I bought a set for left and right just in case. I'm hoping I can fix it without that, but time will tell. What really griped me the most, or what gets to me the most, is just for convenience sake, we took this to his house and we hauled all the parts there, and then I, you know, like I said, I came to assemble it there. The biggest thing is the embarrassment factor when you're in someone else's shop and something doesn't work, and people come and go, and it gets really awkward and silent, you know, when you run into a problem in that situation. So that's the worst part of it for me. Obviously, me showing you this, I'm willing to be completely transparent. Like I said, I tell you guys all the time, don't be afraid to work on your stuff. Even if you screw something up really bad, not the end of the world. So, and this isn't even my own stuff. So now we get to fix it. Now I get to cut apart stuff that's already been finished, and we get to refinish it again. So without further ado, let's do that. One of the things my wife threw my way this Christmas was one of these little shop anti-fatigue mat thingamajiggies, you know. Got the nice foam on the back, and apparently I've been complaining a lot lately about working on the concrete or whatever, my lower back, and I've noticed that since she gave it to me, it's been following me around the shop wherever I go if I have to work standing or kneeling or sitting on the floor. So apparently she is a great gift giver. Oh, I knew she was. So I'm sitting here trying to decide what I want to do, and I don't know if you can tell, but we can certainly see this thing swooping up towards the front. We got a pretty consistent line here, the floor, like the other side, and it's about 3/8 of an inch above the flange for the weather stripping. But then it just completely, by the time you get up here, it completely disappears. Having said that, so I mean that needs to go down 3/8 of an inch about this point. Having said that, that'll create, you know, this side, this gap in the weather stripping flange will be 4 times what it is on the other side, which that's really irrelevant. I mean, that really doesn't matter. It's gonna hold on to weather stripping no matter what. And you measure under here, I have about 1/4 inch from the bottom of this mount, like I was saying, to the bottom of my pinch weld. Adding 3/8 will get me 5/8. And the other side was close to 3/4, I think. So I mean, we'd be getting close there. The problem is I'd be all but out of weldable material between the two inner and outer pieces for the pinch weld. It could be done, but it's just not overlapping like it should, which is another reason leads me to believe that this panel just isn't quite formed up front anyway, as it should have been. So not that that matters. So yeah, I guess probably about this mark is about halfway in the door, not quite. From here forward, I'm at least going to start drilling out spot welds and get that to where it can move. And then I got to mess up all my lovely body filler work here that hid the transition from sill to doorpost. Cut that all out again. Cut my welds up front. And then the front half of this thing will be loose, and hopefully we'll just see. I don't know if it can be moved at all. It's possible it could be, I may have to cut something out and reshape it. Or it's possible I just go unbox one of those rocker panels and we try that. So I guess let's get busy.
These things must be done delicately.
Well, we still just have onions, but the coals in the Barbie are heating up, you know. If you've never seen one of these before, that's
kind of a restraint bar, a cargo bar, I don't know what you really call it, goes side to side in a pickup bed or a service truck bed just to hold things back. I wanted to try that first because it's got rubber feet on both ends. You just use the lever to expand it and ratchet it down. And that seems to be working somewhat. I went ahead and I drilled every spot weld except the last one or two, because obviously this end is good to go, and we're nicely in line with our cab corner there. So, and that let the whole thing fall down. I was welded right on top of my inner construction, so I don't know. I don't know if in my mind I'm having problems judging why this was higher, and it still is. This can go down maybe another eighth of an inch. You can see the gap in the spot weld hole there. But when this was welded all the way down, why do we have more floor showing now? I don't understand that unless when you can see, we can't even see inner construction really. I can just barely see the bottom edge. So I'm going to have to get in the back side and weld back there, which makes no sense because both of those inner rockers were made to the exact same dimensions. But the bottom end dropped down that much, which means this corner would have rocked down like that. So if it's just the angle, that obviously will help us here because that's dropping that down. And if it's just the angle, I don't know. I really can't fully grasp it. And then obviously all along the front, I'm going to have to work with that obviously, but you can see we've dropped at least a 1/4 inch. So hopefully that is going to get it. Okay, now in quick update, I have spot welded here and here. I know it looks terrible right now, and we'll get it taken care of. But I've just spot welded a couple places back, and I've got this cinched down with vice grips where it just naturally wants to be. When I measure again from here to this bolt hole, these threads, I'm at 27 1/8. The other side was 27 1/4. So we're, within 1/8 of an inch. That'll be fine, I'm pretty sure, if this is where it wants to be. I don't think I got a full 3/8 out of it. If it was, I probably got a 1/4 inch out of it by the looks of it. For this to have worked, for this to have done anything, that means this gap has gotten wider, and it certainly bears that out. As we look along it, gets narrower the farther back we go. So basically we're just shifting the whole rocker and sill plate down, which if that's going to be what it takes to fix it, then that's what we'll do. A guy could come in probably and bump our weather strip flange in and get that consistent afterwards once this is all nice and solid. I am going to stop here. I've ground my welds down on my sill plate. I'm going to grab the door and attempt to hang that back on by myself. Probably a mistake, but scratching the paint really isn't an issue right now. So I'm going to do that and see how we are coming along.
Well, apparently I didn't bring home any extra bolts, so I'm going to have to get some of those from the guy. This needs to go way in, which will be on the other set of bolts. But we are already looking miles better than we were the other day. Yeah, we need to go up because this is digging into that step there. So let me just try and do that real quick. I don't think those bolts on the inside are even tight. Okay, that's got about an 1/8 inch gap down there now. Oh yeah. We got lots of clearance between the door and the sill plate now. So I'm really feeling like as long as I can get the front of the door to go in with the hinges, which that really has nothing to do with anything I've done. Well, other than the fact that, you know, the rocker could be farther in, and that would be a problem, but tell you what, I'm going to mess around just a little bit more, just so I can confirm that we can adjust it how I want it. I'm going to play around with those inner bolts, and then I will show you close up.
All right, well, I'm still not absolutely perfect, and I don't know that I need to get there. Probably be a good idea. I need to move the whole door backwards. A good 1/8 of an inch would work. Anyway, and perhaps tilt it up just a skosh to get my corner up a little bit down here. I mean, we're right there, and then towards the front we get more of a gap. So we could shift the whole door that way, and then I am proud, the door is proud of the rocker just a little bit. I could probably get that. Obviously I can't do anything with the rocker. It is what it is. If we're gonna weld it where it's supposed to be, we would otherwise have to add material. Or somehow shift the whole thing farther yet. But I think I can get that with the door. Otherwise, everywhere else is looking okay. Like we have a little bit of room to work with here. I think I'm a little proud, more proud than I should be. The whole door needs to, tilt in a little bit. But I think we're okay. I think I can pop it back off again and have a little bit more confidence that she's gonna bolt up. If you can see the gap We didn't have that at all. That was already rubbing clear up front at this point. Let's go look at this one. Yeah, that looks very similar to the other side now. So I think we're okay. I'm going to pop the door off and start putting it back together. Okay, I was trying to get this done this afternoon, ran out of gas. We were just sucking fumes. You know, gas money give out in Gurney, or whatever Cousin Eddie says. Between this project and putting the floor in over there, yeah, we ran her dry, so I had to run to town real quick, which can't be done real quick, especially when there's road construction. Anyway, this is what it's looking like. Got everything welded back up. My pinch weld, all of that. I'm going to throw some filler on it. Then I think I'm going to move it to the other shop where I've been painting things now and get it out of here. I actually need to pull a tractor in here.
Well, there we go, guys. I just proved it. Even though you might mess something up, it's never the end of the world. I know it might look like it when it happens. It is frustrating, depressing, embarrassing. You just want to throw in the towel. Hey, I got it. You know, I've been there. But it's just stuff. You can fix it. Now, I don't know if this video was as good as a steak. Okay, I know it's not, you know. But just remember, when life gives you onions, just grill yourself that steak to put right under it. I don't even know what that means. Hey, guys. We lost a rebar. Guys, I thank you so much for joining me. There you go. We got more to do. We got to get this out of here so we can bring more stuff in. So I will see you on the next one. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye. This thing is a death trap. Just waiting to happen.
I'm driving my non-existent truck.